We're going green this week, movie fans. April 22nd is Earth Day, a time to consider our ecological footprint. Unfortunately, now more of a political issue than anything. It's a subject matter Hollywood keeps digging up. There are plenty of films out there about pollution, global warming, and climate change, but it's a wilderness of different science. And since I know more about story than science, this week's choices have only one common agenda: to see the bigger, planet-sized picture. Speaking of, you'll see all irony in this movie's title when you finish Planet of the Apes. A cast of actors with extensive makeup join leading man Charlton Heston. He plays an astronaut who crashes on a world run by self-aware, human-like apes. This is one of the best examples of science fiction having something profound to say. From beginning to end, jumping from zoology to religion to culture, the message evolves into one of self-reflection. Heston has my favorite line when he hears apes didn't know men could be monogamous. He says, "On this planet, it's easy." Next, we're leaving fiction behind for a true story of the planet's worst oil spill in Deepwater Horizon. It's about the moments immediately leading up to and following the explosion of the infamous oil rig. I appreciate this movie allows absolutely no time for statements. It's simply about what happened, and that is plenty. Kurt Russell and Mark Wahlberg light up the screen almost as much as the movie's visual effects that put the audience inside the disaster, drawing attention to problems on board before the explosion while also being so wrong. Russell picks up the phone and says, "Hey, a dial tone. Day's looking up." And last, greed takes the big chair, leaving responsibility in the backdrop in Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. A story within a story, in a young man's search for trees that no longer exist, he finds out what happened from the person to blame. Like the book, this is a great way to introduce young kids to being environmentally conscious. Danny DeVito voices the funny little creature who speaks for the trees. He's one of a couple characters who reiterate a quote from Dr. Seuss himself: "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better." It's not. Here's where you can stream this week's choices. Planet of the Apes is on Starz, and it's free with ads on Sling. You can watch Deepwater Horizon on Max, and The Lorax is streaming on Peacock. That's this week's watch list. Be kind to the planet. For more of my movie recommendations, hit up our spot on WCBI.com. I'll be back next week with 3 more. Until then, as always, leave the criticism, take the cannoli.